All right, folks, it's officially time to make my Week 13 2016 NFL season weekly predictions. So we're getting down to the wire. I mean, we got December football coming up. We've got, about 5 weeks left before playoffs. Lots of crazy things can happen. A whole lot of teams are still in contention. I can't wait to get into it. All right, so let's take a gander at our Thursday night game. Dallas at Minnesota should be pretty entertaining. Looks like Dallas is a 3.5 point favorite. Owner's 44. I'm going to say go above for that, and I'll give it to Dallas by 7. I mean, they should win by at least a touchdown in this one. I feel pretty confident about that. Kansas City and Atlanta. Very, very, very intriguing little matchup we have on Sunday. Looks like Atlanta is a 4 point favorite. The opener is 49.5. I'm going to say keep it under. I think it should be a defensive struggle. I still think Matt Ryan will probably get like 3 touchdowns, though. And it's really, about the Falcons' aerial attack taking on the Chiefs' rushing attack. And I think Atlanta is a little bit stronger. I think Atlanta wins it 3 points in a shootout. Detroit at New Orleans. Another interesting matchup where New Orleans is actually a 6 point favorite, which makes sense because the Superdome is really, really hard to win in. But Detroit, they keep finding ways to win games. Looks like we got 53.5 for the over-under. I think it's going to be under. I think it's going to be that much of a score fest. And I will, I'll go with the underdog. I'm going to go with Detroit and win by 6. I just think they can do it. They've done it so far this season. Then get another upset win here. The Rams in New England, the biggest point spread of the week for sure. New England is a 13.5 point favorite over the Rams. Over is 44.5. I'm going to say keep it under 44.5. And I'll go with New England by 10. But I can't go full 2 touchdowns. That's just a little bit too high for my conservative taste. Denver at Jacksonville. Denver's a 5 point favorite. Over-under is 41.5. Definitely come under 41.5, and I'll give Denver the points. I think they can win by at least a touchdown, but if they're giving them 5, take 5. Houston at Green Bay. Green Bay, 6 point favorites, even though, the game is at Lambeau, because that makes sense. 45.5 over-under. I think it's going to be slightly over that, and I'll give it to Green Bay by 6. I think the Texans are definitely in slow free-fall mode, and it's going to get worse from here. Philadelphia at Cincinnati. Both these teams are really teetering on the brink. I think Cincinnati's already kind of been technically eliminated from playoffs. And Philadelphia, they're a tough division. To give you an idea of just how dire straits Philadelphia is in right now, if they win every single game on the rest of their schedule and the Cowboys lose every remaining game on their schedule, the Eagles only tie with Dallas, and they still lose a tiebreaker. So that tells you where they're going. So they're fighting for only a playoff spot at this point. And you know what? I'm going to go with Cincinnati with the upset. I think they'll win by 1 point. Let's give it to them. Over-under is 42. Let's keep it under, and that pretty much spells into the Eagles' postseason dreams. Miami at Baltimore. Baltimore's a 3.5 point favorite. Whether or not they're going to try to hold everybody like they did in the last game is yet to be seen, but it would be hilarious if they did. Over-under is 41. Let's keep it under, and I'm going to go with Miami with the upset here. I think they win by a field goal. San Francisco at Chicago. Oh my God. This is like a torture device right here. Chicago is a 2 point favorite under Matt Barkley, of all people. Over is 43.5. Keep it under. And I'll go with San Francisco to win this one. I think they can probably pull off this one over any other team on their schedule. I'll give it to them by 2. Buffalo at Oakland. Very, very entertaining matchup. And it looks to me like Vegas has finally figured out the Raiders never cover the spread, so they put them down at -3. So they are a 3 point favorite, and I think it should be very, very similar to the matchup against Carolina. Just a back-and-forth affair, a whole lot of points. Over-under is 50. I think it's going to go above that, and I'll give Oakland by 3 points. Giants at Pittsburgh should be a very, very good matchup. Looks like Pittsburgh's a 6.5 point favorite. Over-under is 49.5. I'm going to keep it under, and I'm going to go with the Giants to win by 7 points. So that's a pretty big upset if you're keeping track at home. Washington and Arizona. Arizona, they're pretty much done. Washington's still fighting for the playoff spots. Arizona's a 2.5 point favorite. Over is 49.5. I'll go over, and I'll give it to Washington by 3. Tampa Bay at San Diego. San Diego's a 4.5 point favorite. Over is 48. I'm going to say keep it slightly under that, and I'm going to go with Tampa Bay by 6. So another upset there. Carolina at Seattle. A rematch of the NFC Championship game. That's who played in the last one, right? It was Carolina and Seattle, I think. Or was it somebody else? It doesn't matter. Seattle, they're a 6.5-point favorite, even though they only put up 5 points against Tampa Bay. That gives me reason to be concerned. Over is 44.5. I'm going to say keep it under, and I think Seattle wins by 7 points. I mean, Carolina, they're done for, and this is just the insult to injury. And our Monday night football game, really, really terrible booking in hindsight. The Colts taking on the Jets. The Colts are a 1.5-point favorite. Over-under is 49.5. I'm going to say keep it under, and I'm going to go with the Jets in an upset win by 3. So there you have it. Those are my Week 13 picks. Not a whole lot of surprises going on, but I think after this week we can actually whittle down the playoff field and make a more concentrated effort on the teams that we know for sure are going to be making a run in January, which, in case you haven't been following the NFL season so far this season, means not Cleveland. They have a bye this week. They'll probably lose it. But everybody else, though, you still got a chance unless you're San Francisco. So hang in there. Some good matchups coming up. And as always, I will be seeing you on the field this Sunday. And don't gamble. Take your money and put it in the stock market where there's less safeguards and can ruin your family a whole lot quicker. And I'm done.